It's 21 minutes to 8 o'clock now, and it's exactly a month since the 20-year-old Jerseyman Adrian Lynch went missing after a works night out. He was dropped off by a taxi near Carrefour Saloon in St Lawrence in the early hours of December the 5th. Since then, all the emergency services have been involved in the search, and many members of the public have been out looking too. His parents have also made an emotional appeal for witnesses. So what's the next stage of the investigation then? Detective Chief Inspector Lee Turner is from Jersey Police. Good morning to you. It's been a month. What are your plans now at this stage in the investigation?
Good morning. Yes, it has been a month now. We completed the phase of search activity that we'd set out and planned to do. That concluded just before Christmas. At that stage, an investigation room had been up and running since the weekend of Adrian's disappearance. That continues to run. There are a significant number of lines of inquiry to continue with. We have had over 85 calls from the public, which has been a fantastic response, and I'm very grateful for the public support and cooperation, and would continue to urge them to call us if there's anything that they think they might have in terms of information, however insignificant that might be. Please pass it on to us and help us assess. So we've, as a result of calls from the public and lines of inquiry raised, we've got over 300 actions or lines of inquiry, about half of which are still pending. We're still reviewing the results of the extensive house-to-house inquiries which were conducted just before and over the Christmas period, with over 300 properties visited and over 500 people spoken to. We have a team of about 6 inquiry officers working full-time on this, plus support at present from Guernsey, plus supervisory and analytical support, as well as the support in the investigation room in respect to the Home's computer system, which is a national-based system for major investigations. We continue with our CCTV inquiries with body repair garages on the off chance that some form of RTC may have been involved, a road traffic collision.
Can I ask you a little bit more about that? That's not something that we've discussed here on BBC Radio Jersey. I know the JP were reporting that you were questioning mechanics about possible road accidents. What more can you tell us about that? Is that another line of inquiry for you?
It's a possibility. Our belief remains that Adrian, through disorientation, got lost, injured or trapped or has fallen somewhere, and remains yet to be discovered. However, we maintain an open mind on all possibilities, as we have done from day one. And one of these possibilities is that perhaps he may have been hit by a vehicle. And consequently, being alive to that possibility, we're contacting garages on the off chance that somebody may have taken a car in with damage that may be considered a little bit suspicious perhaps by somebody used to and experienced in body repairs. We have no indication that that was the case, but as I said, we're keeping an open mind in regard of all possibilities.
We know we're a month on now, and you mentioned that there's still belief that he became disorientated and lost. If that was the case, because of the extensive search that we all know has been happening, surely we would have found him by now.
We would think so. However, there remains the possibility that despite extensive police searches by partner agencies, and the interest and help of the public as well in looking in their own properties and lands, that he remains undiscovered. It's possible he may have curled up into a small ball to keep himself warm, perhaps with his jacket pulled over his head, and perhaps with rain, etc. Since that weekend, he may be covered in mud. It might not be immediately recognisable as a young man in a blue suit. So it's possible that it's been overlooked. However, the search has been extensive and thorough, and we would seriously hope that hasn't been the case, but it remains possible.
Do you still have boots on the ground? Do you still have people out physically searching, or are the lines of inquiry sort of taking a more office-based set up now?
Yes, our emphasis at the moment is on an office-based inquiry team. So officers going out making inquiries, speaking to people who may have seen Adrian or may have information which might help us consider in the future if we need to reconsider reactivating a search phase. But that would be based on information or an assessment of an area that we feel warrants attention. The areas that we feel have warranted search attention have been covered currently, but that's not to say that we wouldn't resurrect that should the situation change.
Another line of inquiry we understand you've been looking into is his bank accounts. How significant has that been?
Well, that's just one small part of understanding more about Adrian's life. It's important that we look at Adrian and think about Adrian in terms of where he might have gone, what his hobbies were, what his type of living was, and that's why we're looking at aspects such as his bank account, such as speaking to family, such as speaking to friends and work colleagues, to better understand Adrian, so we can better understand where he might have gone, what he might have been thinking, etc. on that night.
We heard an emotional statement about a week ago from Adrian's family saying that Christmas just hadn't been the same. Are you continuing to support the family? Because I'm sure most people will still think of them when they think of Adrian and this search.
Absolutely. The family remain very much at the centre of our inquiries. We still do have trained family liaison officers working with Adrian's family. Adrian's family have been very much at the centre of our thoughts over the Christmas period. Most of the inquiry team and myself are parents ourselves, and we really feel for them and just want to find Adrian so that we can perhaps help them to begin some form of closure process on this very sad affair.
Looking back to the beginning of the investigation, is there anything that you might have done differently?
At present, I think we've started off with extensive search activity, which was continually reassessed as that went on. It moved, unfortunately, from a search and rescue phase when we thought that there was a realistic chance that he was still alive, and as those hopes dwindled over the days, then we reassessed the searching that went on. We started an investigation room almost from day one, following up on a number of lines of inquiry, which have just grown since then. So,
and finally, when do you call an end to the search? When do you say there's not much more that we can do here?
Well, at present, there are still a significant lines of inquiry and active lines of active actions to follow up and pursue. So at present, we continue to work on those. The position will be reviewed on a weekly basis, but as long as there's work to be done, we will continue to do that.
Thank you for your time this morning and for the update. Detective Chief Inspector Lee Turner, thank you for your time. The search is continuing for missing man Adrian Lynch. He disappeared after a works night out exactly a month ago. Today, if you have any information, you can contact the police on 612612 or speak to Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111. 14 minutes to 8 o'clock here on Good Morning Jersey. The latest travel is on the way, but first, Chris.